No, it's good. Yeah, I like it a lot.
Yeah.
All right. Hello, everybody. This is the first of what I hope to be many um, live streams, PR reviews. I've got guests today, guests that have PRs or need to be involved in the discussion. So, Joseph, I just met him like 2-3 months ago in California. He was a real treat to meet. So, Joseph, you want to introduce yourself, maybe?
Hi, everyone. I'm an IBM developer, a independent contractor. I've been programming for about 11 years now. I program in all languages. Started on RPG, but I'm big into Node, Python, PHP. Anything the IBM can run, I like to code it.
Cool.
Nice.
And then Jesse looks like he's in a hotel lobby. So
Yeah. virtual backgrounds for the win. I'm Jesse Grzinski. I work with IBM development with Liam. Liam's kind of my boss man. He cracks the whip on my back, but I'm the official business title or official job title is business architect for open source on IBM. Help set the roadmap and deliverables and really just help people succeed with open source and the platform in general in any way that I can.
all right, cool. Well, that's enough of the formals. That's way too formal for me to do some PR reviews. So
yeah, let's look at it.
So the first one that we're going to talk about is just one that Joseph's done. So I have a list here that you should be able to see and the stream can see as well. But
yep.
The first one is one that Joseph made, which adds the display file renderer to the development pack. So Joseph, I understand why you did it, but let me tell you, there's a reason why it's not in there. Because the display file renderer does not ignore comments at the moment. So that's actually a pretty significant bug. So if you have a field declared in your display file, but even with an asterisk there, it will still think it's not a comment. So I want to leave this one open, like it's approved, but it depends on me fixing a different bug before I can do this one.
You or community.
Yeah, right. Yeah, probably me.
Maybe I'll get to it first.
Yeah, maybe you'll get to it first. Yeah, so it's kind of a stupid one. It should be really easy to do. If the line has an asterisk at the start of it, then ignore it. It's pretty. So I'm going to put that in here as well. I have to move my microphone so you don't hear all this typing, but that's okay. Waiting for bug fix in display file renderer, which currently is rendering comments. So I'll keep it assigned to me, and then we'll go from there. Whoever picks it up, probably I'll do it this week. But okay, that's the first one. Great. So the next one, which is why I wanted Jesse to come on, there's a PR for a job browser.
Job browser.
Now, before we go into detail, I've already done a code review a little bit, and there's been some changes since, but I actually want to pull this up in VS Code so we can at least look at it and understand what it's doing. So let me share VS Code. This one is a really interesting one. So let me check out to that PR quick. Job browser. Okay. So I'm checked out. I checked out a long time ago, but so let's run it. And then what's annoying is I probably have to switch window again because it opens a new window. So let me switch to the other window to show you. You just have to stop sharing, click a new screen, window. Here we go. So we can ignore this project for now and connect to a system. I'm on the VPN. We're good. And what this does, it adds a view to the IBM view. Oh, first time connecting today. Seems very slow.
Yeah, I'm probably
There we
running
go.
some stuff on that system just to slow it down too.
I know, that's perfectly fine. That's what it's for. That's exactly what it's for. Okay, so, it's already there, and I've already tried it. So, much like the object browser, you can create a job filter, where you can give it a filter name, and you can specify a name, a user, the number, the profile the job runs under, even the subsystem. So you can create full subsystem filters, which is kind of cool. Here's just everything. And I like this. I think it's really neat because it's actually grouping by subsystem.
Yeah,
Here,
that's cool.
It's really cool. Look, there's you.
There's me.
But this is where it gets really cool. I don't think you can see it, but you can't see it. That's really sad. But there's right-click options here. So if I right-click on it, and I can actually say history job, which the text needs to change, but it opens up like this table.
Oh, okay.
Which is cool. But there is some. It's cool, and I can, of course, I'm gonna just try and end a job here and see what it does. Oh, look! When I end the job, it shows up basically the end job prompt, and lets me basically control how the job is ended. So I just ended whatever job you were running, by the way. So sorry, bud.
Thanks.
No problem.
Yeah.
Is one of the context options replying to messages? And can you filter for message weights? That would be great.
That's a good question. So no, you can't do a filter based on the current function or the status of the job. And there is no reply, but there is a change job. So you can do a change job from here as well. And that's a big...
Yeah, I'm thinking about 2 a.m. when I have to answer a message weight. It'd be nice to just pop up in VS Code real quick and do it.
Yep.
And is there any way to see the job status, to see if it's in message weight or display weight or active?
Well, that's a good question. And let's just...
Is this built on the SQL active job info table function?
I think that's where we're going. We're going to go look at some code now.
Okay, perfect.
This is exactly why I love these, like the idea that we can sit down and understand it together a little bit. I think that's really cool. So source, views, job browser. Here we go. So this is the first time I'm seeing this code. I haven't really done a bit, but obviously there's some issues. So let's do a quick lint cleanup. I'll have to tell them to fix that. So let's see. Yeah. So properties job, that's to change the job, I think. History job, that gets the actual table for the job log of the job. End job, refresh job browser, maintain job filter, create filter. Okay, so let's go down to get children. So that's where it does all the work. Those are the classes for it. Get connection, job filters, get new filter. No, we know about that one. Okay, here we go. I'm not a big fan of this. I think I'm going to need this cleaned up, but it's doing this select job name as job name short, job user. So we could, in theory, active job info. We could, in theory, add status on here, right? And actually make it so the status appears next to the job.
Right.
Do you know what the column is called by any chance?
It is job_status. varchar 4.
Okay, so then in active job, wherever active job is, let's go look at that. We can do this. We can say this dot description equals active job dot, and then I'll just hard code this in for now. Job status string. And we can say active job dot job status. And then if we run this, so I'll switch over to that again. Extension development. Here we go. Much faster this time. Always the first time it runs, it's incredibly slow. And then after that, that's just like standard IBM I feel like. First time, nothing.
First time,
second
anything.
time. See, like now we can
Okay. Yep.
Now we can actually do that. So maybe that should be part of the review. Is that first off, ESLint needs to be done because we don't allow that in pull requests.
Right.
And then maybe we should ask if we can get the status on there like this as well. And in fact, wouldn't it be nicer if we had pretty names for the status? So instead of DSPW, actually had like display weight and then the short name in brackets or something. Like we can do that.
Yep, that would be good. I'm just eyeballing the other columns in that table function. I mean, there's also like function, which is one of the things at a glance in work act job, if that's what we're trying to emulate. Right. And then there's a bunch of performance metrics. I don't know if there's any kind of drill down in that right click, like right click, see performance info type thing.
Well, there could be. That's the thing. There's like a lot more
that could be a follow on to this. Right. Yeah.
Yep. So
it's a great base to start off of.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now here's the question though. This is something, Jesse, you had mentioned the other day, is does it belong in the base?
Right. Because yeah, I mean, one of the thoughts is that we almost would have an admin for IBMI extension, I think is what I said, is, we have code for IBMI, which is the application development stuff. And then do we want to start a trend of having more system management-y things here as well? And if we do, does that deserve its own extension, its own namespace? So we have admin for IBMI where you can look at jobs and eventually, maybe look at users and, maybe manage database stuff or whatever other kind of stuff we can think of there.
So maybe that should, I agree with you wholeheartedly, because the base, is primarily aimed at development, but it also would provide the APIs for that other extension to do the work. So I think what we'll do, here's my plan, is I'll ask for the cleanup. So ESLint, I'll make it so the status with a pretty name is on there. And then I think what we'll have to do is, when it's good and it's, mergeable and then we're happy with it, then I think we'll talk to that user about how they feel about moving it into its own extension, VS Code, IBMI admin or something, whatever.
Yep. Well, and I'd like to kind of open some new issues about possible add-ons to this wherever it lands, right? So maybe the performance stuff or the function identifier. What else is available today if you right-click, since we can't see your right-click options on this guy?
So we have 5 options. We have change job, and I'll show you each one. I'll show you each one as it happens, right? So we have change job, which opens the command prompt, basically.
Wow, this is cool.
Yeah, it's really neat. So that's really cool. So that's change job. And then we have end job, which does the same, opens the command prompt up, and we can, I'm always *med0 type person.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
And then we have history job, which loads the
job log. And is that using the SQL as well, or is that using something else?
It's all SQL driven.
Nice.
Yep. And then we have hold job. And then we have release job.
Okay.
So to Joseph's point, if the status is message wait, there's no reason why we can't have a right-click reply,
That'd be really cool.
That'd be badass.
Well, and that might be part of the job log stuff. Because, if you're in message wait, you'll see the message in the job log. You just won't be able to do anything with it, right? So even if we hung that off job log, that might be good enough. You say message wait, go see the job log, and then if you could right-click on the message that's still waiting for a reply and say send a reply, right? That would be cool.
Yep. So this is my plan. Do the ESLint cleanup, get the descriptions in there, and then get it merged, and then start to look into having that separate administration extension. Because I also think that if we were going to do that, it wouldn't go into the IBMI view. It would have like its own, kind of like how the database browser has its own view. We'd put it in its own like administration view, basically, is what I'm thinking for that. So, but this is, this is great. The filter is really nice. I love this part about it. It's great.
Yeah, the filter is where I would definitely like to see job status added as well. Because I could see having a job filter just to view your active message waits.
Sure.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I like that. Okay. Cool. Let's get replying to this PR.
For the record, I think a IBM iAdmin extension makes a lot of sense. You can add out queues and
God.
start your services, manage your HTTP servers. All
Well,
sorts of stuff could go in there.
Just before, actually, while we're here, long time ago, as an example, I did actually write an IWS extension, it never got published. But what it did was it listed like IWS APIs that were running, like turned off, turned on, and you could create them and start them and stuff from here, from this extension. So that could probably be part of it as well, like managing IWS. Oh, I mean, I personally would love that because I bloody hate the IWS window. So interesting. There's a lot of ideas for a job admin extension. I kind of like that. So, okay.
Put service commander in there.
Exactly.
Yeah.
There's a lot of good ideas bouncing around.
So just throwing this out, I'm looking at this active job info table function, and I think the reason the status wasn't included in the filter up front is because that's not exposed as a filter for the table function, right? So the table function allows filtering on subsystem, job name, current user, and whether or not you want detailed info. The implication there is just that if somebody were to create a filter only with message weight as the criteria, you'd have to do that with a where clause after the table function, which would mean the performance wouldn't be great because you'd have to scrape all the jobs down, and then it would subset those, right? Whereas the table function is really efficient at doing the upfront filtering. Say, just give me my jobs kind of thing. Not a showstopper, and I don't think it's.
No,
I mean, it's probably still within a couple seconds to pull down that data, but just throwing that.
Waiting a few seconds is worth it compared to having to open up a 50.
And it would be completely optional too. That's another important part. Is that it's not like enabled by default. There's no filter by default, and then you can add them.
Right.
It's a good idea. So, all right, let's do this. Let's say first off, this is not the way you submit a review. Done this enough now. Okay. Oh, yes, one. Strings. This can be done with the ESLint VS Code extension. Is it possible to add the job status to the active job class in the description member? This would allow us to see the status in preview. All right, let's leave it at that because that's really the next main part.
Well, and so what are the defaults on that filter?
Let's go back and have a look. Let me fix this up.
Yeah.
Cool. So let's go and have a look. What are the default? Let me start running it again. Share screen. Wait for it to start. Here we go. So let's go ahead and get connected again. On the job filter, we have quite a lot, actually. So we've got...
But the default is splat, splat, splat?
Yeah.
Okay.
Which I guess makes sense, right?
Yeah, I think that makes sense. I was going to say a lot of people might want to just use current user for the user filter, but I think splat, splat, splat's a good default.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like it.
Okay.
Yep.
You should definitely raise some issues to that admin extension, though, because I think that Now, and I think what is also important is that we could make it like user extensible without a user having to write the extension. Like they should just be able to provide queries and us like generate a table and stuff for them. Like I know they can use the database browser for that, but somehow saving it and reusing
save
queries,
the view kind of thing. Yep.
Saving it and that's kind of what VS Code is good at. So,
right.
Okay, let's do a share. Let's go back to GitHub. Cool. So that also means I don't assign it to me anymore. Put it back to him. I gotta say, whoever this person is, they've done some great stuff, great PRs lately. So
yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah.
It's rapid fire too. This week I saw so many notifications, new PRs coming from Seb.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Somewhere in France, I think. So okay, let's talk about this one. This is another one of yours, Joseph. So it's a good PR, and we're gonna go ahead and open it in VS Code anyway. So because even just this week,
screenshots in the PR, beautiful, by the way.
Yeah, love it. Yeah. And it really just adds this button. Also on the Mac, you can select text in images now. I find that so bizarre. But this is an image and I'm able to like highlight the text in it and copy it. It's crazy. So anyway, yeah, there was a bug attached to it. I already did a code review because I'm a terrible person. And so let's go.
It was more of a quality of life fix. Whenever you set up a connection for the first time, if it failed to connect for whatever reason, like you put in port 22 for pub 400, then it just wouldn't save your connection. So now it actually saves it and gives you a second chance to go fix your port.
Let's go look at it. I'm going to check out to that branch quickly, and then we'll go take a look. Oh God! All right, I've been making use of the GitHub extension inside of VS Code this week because I've always manually checked out. I've always like manually fetched and checked out, but like the VS Code has all this PR stuff like built in, which is kind of nice. And I just have not been using it until this week.
Nice.
So yeah, it's really cool. So usually would help if I could find it. Yeah, 820. Okay. Yep. Check out. Press that one button and it does all the work. Oh, yeah, that's fine. Local changes. Cool.
It's also included on the pre-release.
Oh, you saw that? Yeah. Okay. Pre-releases, they aren't going to happen. So, like, I thought it was going to be a really cool idea. It's not. So, there's a much larger issue at play with pre-releases because there isn't an easy way to create them, basically. So if I do a pre-release, if I do like a 160 pre-release, I'm not able to do a normal release at 160, which is frustrating because it's like, oh, I'm going to do a pre-release of 160, so people that want to try it before, and find some issues, can try it. But then I can't publish 160 like a normal release over it. It doesn't work. And also, there is no easy way to detect if a release is a pre-release, because on GitHub, you can make a release as a pre-release and you can do it from an action, but it's not easy to just do like a variable. Oh, if it's a release, then do a normal release. But if it's a pre-release, add this one attribute to the command. It's not that easy. And so it's just not worth the trouble of doing them.
I mean, you could do maybe RCs. Like release candidate 1, release candidate 2 releases where they're actual releases in GitHub's view, but
they're releases in GitHub's view, but the marketplace doesn't support them.
That's what I was going to ask, because if the versioning support doesn't understand RC1, RC2, etc., then it kind of breaks. Yeah,
I would like that. I personally would like that 160 RC1.
Right?
Doesn't work. It's kind of sad. It's kind of really sad, but
that's okay.
Is what it is.
Yeah.
And they've been saying
that is pretty sad. VS Code had a really cool button that showed up on the extension, switched to pre-release version, and I was like, oh, that's pretty slick. But
yeah, it's really neat, but it just like they haven't fully fledged out the functionality for it, so it's almost useless. But okay, look at that. Oh, that's nice. So what happens if I click save and exit? Nice. Connection name is required. Cool. Just testing you. All right, let's do one.
So the old behavior just had connect, and connect would implicitly save, right?
Yeah, if the status was successful on the connect, it would save.
Right, whereby if it was unsuccessful, the dialog would go away. You'd get an error. Go back and do it again.
Ah, look at that. Even the refresh is there.
Yep,
Love that.
added the refresh.
Love that. That's really neat. I guess I can. Oh. I get it because, okay. So, this isn't your problem, and I kind of like the way that this works, but I'm trying to right click on it, and there's a connection settings option, but the connection settings don't get created until you successfully connect.
Mm.
And that's okay, because I can still delete the connection and it will go away, and I can still edit the login settings. So if I create a new connection that is just bad, save and exit, I can right click and go login settings. Yeah, okay, that works. But the connection settings don't work because it's not been created before. I love it. I think it's great. I think we've needed something like this for a while. And all right,
Yeah,
I mean,
that's good.
It's not that difficult to accept a PR. So it's my favorite part of the day doing this. So let's go back to, I'm going to do it all from VS Code as well. I'm not even going to do it on GitHub. I'm going to close this. And there's the pull request view. Make this a little bigger, right? Comment and approve. Approve and submit. Love it. It's that easy. And I think there's a way that you can merge them from here too. I think if I click on this button, yep, look at that. Love it. And I'm sure they use them. Okay, they don't have the merge. Oh, there's a conflict that must be resolved. Oh, Joseph.
Oof.
Tut.
There wasn't when I submitted it. I'll go check.
Wonder what it is. I'm curious. I'm really curious what it is. I bet it's contributing.md.
Oh.
Yeah. Kept having to add myself depending on which PR you would accept.
Yep. Sorry about that. Cool. Cool. That was easy, wasn't it? Love it. Okay, I'm going to do my own one because what just happened? Did it just refresh on its own? Because I didn't open anything.
I think Joseph put in some malware.
That's weird. Uh-oh. Joseph, you little hacker. All right, so let me close this. So the other PR, right, Joseph, when you fix it, I'll sort you out, bud. The other PR that I had to fix was fix bug not showing the connection settings prior to connecting. So this is a really silly bug, but basically I added this new piece of functionality to only show the 5250 settings if TN 5250 was installed, and it would crash basically. So it's just a one-line change, check if the connection exists first, and then do it. Because prior to this, if I go to like master, for example, now, actually I can do it in the release. So let me close the project and this is live, I think, right now. So if I right click and go connection settings, see, it just crashes, doesn't know what to do because it has an issue reading the property. So I just added this one line fix, and then it that'll go and it'll fix. So I'm just going to approve my own PR and merge it.
There you
Looks
go.
good. I'm even going to comment
on the back. Yeah. Say good job.
Looks good to me. Well done, bud. All right. So love it. I really I'm enjoying this view. I think this is really nice. This is
nice.
Yeah, this is nice. And LGTM, mate. Comment. Merge. Oh, I love that. Commit. Create merge. Boom. Delete branch. Wow. Oh, and it will delete local. Oh, look at that. Wow. I'm impressed.
Nice.
Goodness, I'm proper impressed. That's so cool. I love good extensions. I love like good, and
Good
we need
experience.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
what we need in IBM. Good stuff like that. Okay, let's go back to the project. The next one. There's a few. There is a few. Oh, maybe we could do.
Seb has a few. Christian has one.
Yeah. Well, Christians I've already reviewed. I think I pushed it back too. There's a bug without when
Okay.
there's a certain bug on that. But the one we're going to look at next is Seb's one, which is the go-to file replacement. Because
Cool.
yeah, because in VS Code, I have to start debugging this now. But let me go and swap screens. It's kind of annoying because like I'm using StreamYard through the browser and something doesn't work. What's the issue? Why did it crash? Let's try again. Interesting. 403. Oh, right there. What's the problem? It says, oh, that's a lot.
Where's the? Oh, yep.
Okay, well, I think that fixed it, but I can't fix. I can't fix it, so I'll have to ask Seb to fix that. But we can still at least debug it, so that's nice. So let me go and switch screens again, because this is really neat functionality. Because previously there was two ways you could open files without using the browsers, right? There used to be the way where you could enter in the full path to the file, or you could use a different shortcut and it would list everything that you've opened previously. So I think it looks like this now. Let me figure out what the shortcut is. Okay, here it is, right? So you can see every file that I've opened previously.
Wow, nice.
I can filter it. So if I want, Q RPGLE source / get BRG, I can filter down and hit enter and open a file up like that, right? But now this same window will work if you enter in a path that you've not opened before, which is kind of neat. And I guess if I try and open a file that doesn't exist, it will say it doesn't exist. That's the PR. Like, it's that simple. It's really nice. Yeah, I mean, that's it. It's really cool. Like, I love
that's.
And but the real point of the PR is that it used to be two separate pieces of functionality, and now it's one. Like, it's one window. So we've just removed all this code, and it's really nice. Anyway, love it.
That makes sense.
Yeah. Opening files quickly that you've opened before, it seems like such a strange thing to do, but previously, like in different, in RDI, I can say that now, I guess.
Right.
You have to enter in the full name.
Yeah. It looks like it supports library file member as well as QSys style pathing. So cool.
Yep, supports both file systems really well, which is really cool. VS Code has its own thing. Like if you let me go back to the other window. If I'm in VS Code, I closed the wrong window. Oops. In VS Code, you can do Control P and you can search local files. That's basically the same thing, but for IBM. So it's really cool. Love it.
Yeah.
Although it'd be nice if we could put the icons in based on the extension. That's kind of a cool idea. Okay, that's next time. Yeah. So this is a fail. I need to push it back though because of the issue. So at least I can tell him what line it was on. 403. Yep. GitHub pull request changes. Can I do? Yeah. Please check line 403 in instance JS. Looks like additional closing bracket, which doesn't need to be there. Then please run ESLint for cleanup afterwards. Great, otherwise. Oh, that's a really cool one. I love that. Oh, and you know what's really nice, I think, is I can actually add comments to the review here.
Yep.
Wow. Oh my God. Amazing. I'm going to just do it just because I can. Look at that. Wow. I'm so easily impressed. That is unbelievable. Okay, cool. I like that PR. But it also means that now I can remove the assignment from me. So I can say goodbye and add. Oh, look at that. It uses the oh man, I love it. Cool. Wait, did I just assign myself back to it? What an idiot. Sebsil. Okay. Oh. I think we found a bug. It was going so well. Let me see. Let me see if it really is. Yeah, it didn't work. So I'm just going to do it in the browser. Quickly fix that up. Clear the assignees and add seb. There we go. So now I guess if I close it and reopen, it will have the correct one. Yep, there we go. Cool.
Nice.
Neat. So let's go back to here. Done that one. So I think there is one more main one that I want to have a look at, which is add a disconnect button to the status bar right here. Although I think I already did this one and changes requested. Yeah, we don't. Oh, no, we can add it back today. Let's do it. Here we go. So this is add a disconnect button to the status bar, because right now we have a reconnect button. If somehow you time out and you just want to like connect back, manually, because usually there's a window that shows up that says if you've been disconnected, but for some reason, if it doesn't know, you can hit the button and it will force reconnect. It's kind of useful, apparently. Never used it in my life, but what this PR does is adds a disconnect button. So the old way of disconnecting was you have to press F1, search disconnect, and then it would do that. That's usually what I would do. And now this adds a disconnect button. It's pretty straightforward. So it adds a new configuration option, show connect buttons, instead of show reconnect button, just show connection buttons, which is nice. I kind of prefer it. It's a bit more generic. And that's pretty much all it does. So let's just have a look. And then we're going to go look at a really complex one after this, because the complex ones are way much more fun. Extension development. Here we go. So if I press Control, comma, that opens up the settings. And if I go to extensions, code for IBM, show connection buttons, if enabled, new buttons will be shown in the toolbar for force reconnect and to disconnect from the server. Requires restart if changed. Okay, so let's enable it. Connect. There it is. It's really that simple. So if I click it, okay, well that was it. And then I suppose I should test if it's disabled, and they shouldn't be there. So let's do that too. Dude, I love PRs. They're my favorite. So now let's connect again. And they're gone.
Nice.
Love it. Love it.
Yep.
Best kind of PR. All right. Let's go and get that merged in. Window. Code for IBM. Both enabled and disabled. No, that's not how you spell disabled. Awesome. Approve, merge, create merge.
Merge command.
Delete the branch. Love it. We're done and dusted. And then, oh yeah, it wants to delete it. And it checks out back to master when it's done.
Nice.
Love that, man. So good. Okay. Awesome. Love it. Now there's a bigger task at hand.
Big scary one. What we got?
Let's go RPGLE. This one is a big one because it adds refactoring to RPG.
Wow.
Yeah. Much bigger PR than I was expecting to happen, but that's okay. So
that's awesome. Yeah. Who's this one from?
Me.
Oh,
I don't know who else would have done it. So it's a pretty, not a big change, but it mostly was in the language server where it needed work. So it did the language server stuff, and really all it does is implement a rename provider is what the VS Code API is. And there's a prepare rename event, which happens when you press F2 or rename, and that's the information that you provide to it. And then there's a provide rename edits, which actually does the work to the document. So did that, and then the linter needed new tests to make sure that I was correctly getting the references to variables. So that includes, subfields, data structure, array subfields, all that ugly crap. But it works, which is really cool. So we're at least going to try it because I've tested it, written unit tests for it. Let's go have a look. And in fact, why don't we go ahead and connect to a system and do it in a source member, because then we're going really hardcore. All right, object browser, EMA source physical, QRPGLE source. Well, we'll do basic first. Ocean. All right. This is completely broken because of these dodgy pieces of text, but let's open the outline view. There it is. My text went to the wrong line, but now if I F2, it wants to rename, so I can call it something else, and it will rename. Pretty straightforward, but let's do a more complex example. Let's go to employees, right? And we have these, subfields here. And I'm guessing, I think this is the only one that's used. Yeah, so it's a subfield for a display file, and I can peek the references, and it will show me the references. But now if I do F2 on it and say, subfile display control, some ugly long name, then it should rename across the board. Look at that. And the source date changes. Oh my God. That's kind of insane. I didn't think about source dates when I was working on this, but that's kind of cool. And if I undo, it should undo everything. Yeah, that's kind of neat. So what about this? Where is this used? What about if I peek references on this? Okay, because I got to figure out why that is, but that's a separate issue. What about SUL success? Is this even used anywhere? It is all over the spot, but what an ugly name. Love it. Love it. Anyway, that's it. That's refactoring. It's kind of neat. I'm impressed by myself.
Yeah.
Looks
Nice.
good to me. Good
Nice.
job.
Yeah, good job.
Okay, cool. This isn't the PR where we have sticky scrolling. Maybe I already merged that. Do you guys seen sticky scrolling yet? You know what that is? I'll show you.
I don't think so.
I have, yes.
You had, okay, so this one's going to be for Jesse. This is a good one. So let me open up some source code, right? Something basic like the language worker. Okay, and you see, let me scroll to the top. So you see as I'm scrolling, you see this part up here, right? This is showing me where the top of my window is currently defined, right? And if I scroll through, you'll see it change. So it's telling me what I'm currently looking at. Basically, if I've got this huge, piece of source, then it's showing me,
Nice.
what I'm part of.
Nice.
Now, I don't think this PR has it, but I did a different PR, which we're going to look at in a sec, which does it for RPG.
Nice.
All right. Merge. Yeah, cool. Refactoring.
Sticky
nice.
scrolling is an experimental feature. You have to enable it in your settings. So
Yeah.
go search your settings for sticky scroll.
All right, merged. Cool. Delete branch. So I'm sure I have a different PR which implements sticky scrolling. Maybe it's this one. Maybe I didn't realize Oh, yeah. Support for sticky scrolling. Oh, yeah. Okay, let's have a look. It's not ready to be merged yet because this one is a huge change because of basically we're like changing the way that source dates work, because the old way is like we're tracking every user change.
Oh, right.
And it's bad. But the new way is like an active diff instead. So I take the last saved version and compare it with the new saved version and generate source dates based on what's changed in the diffs. It's kind of neat.
Right. Actually,
really
just
cool.
using the diff command, right? I'd imagine.
It's using the VS Code, the diff that's shipped in VS Code.
Oh, sure. Right.
So because obviously
Nice.
VS Code already has all of that crap, and I
Nice.
don't have to rewrite anything. It's there,
Right.
you know.
Right.
So, but with this PR, not only does it fix the source dates, but it fixes something called definition ranges. So now if I open this up, this is the employee source we were just looking at, right? And I scroll through, you'll see the sticky scrolling at the top start working. Love it. And I know it's only basic because, I mean, it's not like RPG has all these different scopes to worry about. You know, it's got mainline and procedures, and that's it pretty much. But there it is. And I love that. I think that's so cool. It's really basic, but it also does this. So now, like, there's the sticky scroll right there, but then above it, I can see all of the definitions that are in this file, right? But I can click through them.
Nice.
Not only that, I can also go in depth on what's defined in there, which is really cool. I really like that. That's part of the PR as well. So
Nice.
yes, it's mostly for sticky scrolling though, code. So, but it's not ready to be merged yet, I don't think. Or is it ready to be merged? I don't really know. Maybe it is. Maybe I'll just merge it and release it, see what happens. That's the best thing about being in charge, is I can just release stuff even if it doesn't work.
Yep.
Which it always does.
That's why we have Semver.
So we have Semver, exactly. So yeah, I'm guessing this PR is ready. Otherwise, I wouldn't have made it ready. So it adds range now available. Most definitions updated unit tests for range checking, support for sticky scrolling. Where are the unit tests for this? I don't remember them. Okay, some changes. And then valid ranges. Okay, got some new valid range tests. What about fixed? Okay, we're just doing range checks on all of the existing ones. Okay, I'm happy with that. What about if I do, well, let's run the tests. npm run test. So this runs all of the local language tests that we have. So it you know, we have, like, as you see, 100 tests for different stuff in the language, in the RPG language, and it just goes through and, you know, does testing on it to make sure all the lecture still works. So, okay, I mean, it works, and I'm going to merge it and hope for the best, eh? So let's do it.
Let's do it.
Okay. Create merge commit. I'm not even going to comment on it. I'm just going to merge it because I'm a bad boy. Okay. Now the worry is, now it's all been merged to main. Git npm run test. Okay, cool. That's how confident I am. It just works. Okay, so there's going to be a new release tonight. I think that is all the PRs I think we can review today, actually. Like, I know there's some open, but I think we've reviewed all of the big ones.
Nice.
So, yeah, that was it. That's the PR reviews.
Rockin'.
Yeah, I did fix the merge conflict in.
Oh,
8.20.
you did. All right, let's go
Rockstar.
look at it. Let's go look at it. Oh, I'm in the wrong project. Nope. God, I love this. I love, like, not having to leave. This is great. Oh, actually, you know, Joseph, maybe we should talk about the notebook stuff while you're here. Actually,
Sure.
we'll get to that in just a moment. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. Okay, that opens there. What happens if I click the commit? Okay, that opens there too. That's fine. But I can press view changes and it opens locally. Oh, yeah. Love that. Oh, my goodness. Cool. Nice. Love it. That's good stuff. That is. My heart has been fulfilled.
Yeah, and I saw in our YouTube chat, Christian, you want the screen to stay open when there's an error on the connection. So I've been playing around with that for the last few minutes. Haven't quite got it ready yet, so there'll be a new PR when that's good to go.
And the question, and then he has another question: how does sticky scroll handle subroutines in procedures? Well, let's try it actually, because I'm go over to RPGLE and let's start a new build. Let's do an F5. Get that debug going. And let's go share. Oh, F5 from the terminal doesn't work. So sticky scrolling, when there's a procedure in a subroutine, it should show that procedure below it. It should. So let's just open a local folder this time. Let's just do company system, because this is an example I'm always using at the moment. And let's go employees. And let's create a subroutine inside of the procedure.
You see the load sub file is stickying up there.
Yep, that's the one that I'm currently in. Kind of nice. Okay, so let's make this do, enable sub file, whatever. And then inside of it, we're just going to do, we're going to complain that, oh, no reference to definition, right? Because I haven't called it yet. And of course, it's telling me subroutine should not be defined in procedures. That's one of the that's one of the lint rules that I have actually. All right, so let's save it. Now you can see that enable subfile is appearing in the outline view. So if I scroll into it, you can see, wow, the name is wrong.
Just off by a line.
It's off by one line. That's totally weird. I am going to try something. Ah, now it's right. I think it was maybe a cache issue. That's really odd, but now I will look at that. But there you go. So if you've got this huge ass subroutine, it will show you the scope that it's part of as well, which is kind of nice. So
nice.
Yeah, love that. Love that, man. VS Code language tools. That's what's up. I'm telling you, they just keep innovating in this spot, and it's keeping me happy. Also, I've just noticed this is part of the thing that the sticky scrolling PR adds. Now the error count shows up. So if you've got errors inside of a definition, you see the number in the outline view. Like there's 8 issues inside of load subfile. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's cool. I love that. Oh my God. VS Code, that's what's up. I'm telling you. All right. Anyway. Yeah, I didn't bother to look at the subroutine thing, but it's interesting because sticky scrolling didn't really take a lot because you just sort of enable it and it worked. So, I didn't have to do a lot for it. Oh, that's so cool. That's so cool. I love it. All right. Well, that's pretty much it. That's every PR I wanted to review today. So
rocking.
Yeah, feeling pretty good. So thanks for coming on, and I'm hoping to do this, once a week.
Did you want to talk about the QSys file system stuff?
Yes, let's do it. Okay. Yeah, sorry. I'm so sorry.
I don't know how deep we want to get into that.
No, that's okay. So maybe we'll talk about it, but maybe that I obviously found the issue. So if we go and look at the PR, right? This is the wrong project. Loading. So if I go and look at the PR and open it up, God, I love this view, man. So good. So we had a discussion about how it works, and then I mentioned about a way that we could try. But then, yeah, that's right. On will save notebook doesn't exist yet. So maybe you know, but there is an issue open, and I did comment on it, but it doesn't show issue references in here. That's okay. But there's an issue open. And in fact, why don't I just pull it up on my browser? But the issue is basically saying that this event does not exist for notebooks, but it does exist for text documents, which doesn't make any sense because they're, they should be at the same level in terms of the API.
Right.
So I was thinking that we would wait until that comes out before we do anything else on this. So let me switch to Chrome. No, not Chrome. Let me switch to Safari.
Yeah, the only question I had about that function is it's for saving, and the change requires both saving and reading. Because you have to combine from QSys at the record length without line breaks when it's a big JSON string, which if anyone doesn't know, the IBM notebooks, it's one single giant JSON string. And so saving to, 112 record length, you get 100 characters in your JSON, and then it cuts off and you lose everything.
Yep. So here we have on will save text document, and this will let you manipulate the text document before it's saved, right?
Right.
Well, we do have on did open, which would in theory, oh God. Yeah, on did open might let you change the document contents.
Yeah, so long as it doesn't
like the notebook.
Yeah, so long as it doesn't choke on us saving as invalid JSON, because we have to split the JSON at the record length, and so it's going to be invalid until we rebuild the JSON into a valid JSON before it tries rendering the notebook. That's the big issue, because the key value pairs in JSON, the value cannot have line breaks in it. You can put like \n to simulate a line break, but the actual value itself has to be one continuous string. So it has to be invalid JSON while saving to QSys, and then valid JSON when it reads it back. If that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. It's just not pleasant, is it?
No, it's not. I think I mentioned in the PR, I'm also okay if we just put a nice big warning saying notebooks not supported in QSys. Yeah. I ran into this issue because I went and made 2 big notebooks, saved, went back, and they were just gone. So I was like, okay, well, I can fix this.
Yeah. There isn't a pretty way to do it, which kind of does bum me out. But also, I don't know how much effort we should go into supporting that file system when it's not really made for it, like it's like we're trying to cram a square into a circle hole almost. That's the way that I feel about it. I mean, if you do it, and it works, so I'll happily merge it, but I'm concerned. I don't think that you should spend too much time on it. I think that if you try it with on did open notebook, and when they add the API on will save, why not?
Yeah, no, I'm definitely gonna monitor that PR. I think for the current PR, we can go ahead and close it. Maybe I'll open a new issue or a new PR just to add that warning, so it doesn't attempt to open it right now.
So
and then maybe in the future we can support it.
How did you get to that? How did you get to that point? Like, can you actually create a member with the .inb extension, and then when you open it, it tries to open it as a notebook?
Yeah. It acts like it's going to work and everything. It will let you write every cell, test your code, write all the markdown, and then on save, it even looks fine until you either tab away or close the editor pane and then open it back up and it's gone.
You have got me really curious. I have it installed. So you're saying...
I mean, I might be the only person on the planet trying to do IBMI notebooks on QSys, and I'll just use the IFS. That's fine. But
I'll just create it in here. Let's just call it s.inv. Hey, it does actually open up, doesn't it?
it'll let you use it until it saves.
Okay. So it runs, right? It works as normal. And then when I save... Oh, it saves.
That might be just short enough to not
Fit.
break itself.
Yeah. How do you...
Yeah, so add one more like markdown.
Okay. Let's do a really long markdown. How about that?
That'll be enough.
No, it's saved. Unless it chopped it off.
Yeah, no, it chops off. Exit it and open it back up.
Oh, it's gone.
And gone. Yep.
That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I put in a lot of effort to make a really nice we were doing a deployment and I had, a regular markdown and I'm like, oh, I'm going to use this IBMI notebooks. It's just gone.
Just do it in the IFS. You'll never have any problems.
Yeah. We definitely just need a warning here if it tries to open from QSys.
Well, I wonder how you might do that, because maybe I think I know what you're thinking. And are you thinking of something like doing it at the file system level? Like, are you on about like file systems QSys basic, right? Because what I would personally want to avoid is something like, in this, I don't think that we should have like check if it's INB and then if it is, throw an error. Like, I think we should avoid that personally. But what I do think we should do is it probably should be part of the web view. No, not the web view. I'm sorry, the views. I actually think it probably should be part of the object browser, like highly object, probably in here, because this is what causes this here, the open editable. That's what makes it so the stuff can be clicked on. So I'm thinking, like, if it's a dot, now it gets tricky though, because now we have got the base. Basically, yeah, I'll let you decide, and then I'll just think about it later. Like, do you know what I'm saying? Like, now we're having to make sure the base doesn't do stuff for.
My instinct was I was going to start in the IBMI notebooks repository and see if there's a way to figure out that I'm in QSys.
There is a way. I think I know how you could do it. So I don't know if I have
in custom notebook coding in the notebook extension just makes more sense to me.
Yeah, it does. I think what you could do is something like, where would we put it? Not in the controller. It's probably going to be in here. So this is the, yeah, we don't want to care about that. You're probably going to want to do something like VS Code workspace on did open, maybe on did open notebook document, right? And it passes in the document as the value, and you could check document.uri.scheme is member, and if it is, throw an error or something like that. Then you could because the scheme is always member when it comes from QSys.
That's a lot cleaner. Then we don't have to do anything with INBs and in the file system part.
I like that idea too. I kind of wish that what we could do instead is basically say this notebook only supports these file systems. Like, I wish you could go that granular, but I don't think we can. I don't think there's a way to do it. So anyway, that's something for you to think about. But yeah, I disabling for QSys, fine by me. Yeah, cool. Good chat. And that's it. That's the
Rockin'.
PR review meeting.
Rocking.
All right.
Awesome.
Thanks,
Thanks,
dudes.
guys. Thanks, Joseph, for showing up.
Yeah.
Thanks, Liam.
Appreciate you having me.
Thanks, everyone who attended. Have a great day.
Yep. See you later.